Hi everybody, thank you for joining me for today's video. My name is David. This channel is Damar's Coaching. This video is about narcissists again. I made many videos about narcissistic personality disorder. This video, I'm hoping to shed some light and give you guys some clarity on how people with this particular disorder are made. It's still said to be not unknown, but not agreed upon necessarily on exactly how people with this disorder are made. And I know why. It's because it can be completely different ways. First, anybody, we become who we are because of three things: genetics, right? Genetics, our parents, our family lines. And then culture helps define who we become. We're often born into the religion we become, where, geographically in the world, stuff like that. And then upbringing, parenting, environment, okay? And that's what I'm going to focus on mostly today. First of all, narcissists have been raised by narcissistic parents. And a lot of people get this confused. I'm not calling anybody a narcissist when I say narcissistic parents. It's merely the parents' focus is placed on their wants and needs rather than the child's wants and needs, okay? And this is narcissistic, entitlement, grandiosity, things like this. Then there's the family dynamic. You could call this the narcissistic family dynamic. And we hear terms of like golden child, scapegoat, lost child, stuff like that. This is based on narcissistic parenting. So the narcissistic parent will have a child and believes they're an extension of themselves. So traditionally, typically, the first child will be the golden child. The narcissistic parent has a facade. They value and place importance on status. It's ego-driven. They raise their child ego-driven, okay? And the golden child is the extension of the narcissistic parent of everything that will support the facade. You represent the family when you walk outside those doors. In a way, children do. I mean, that's not necessarily a bad thing for a parent to say, I think. Maybe a lot of pressure or responsibility, but what exactly does that mean to the parent? What is that, right? And, we know that, families, and it doesn't have to be about money. I've heard families very much into status and stuff like this without much money at all. The front of the house looks 10 times better than behind the front of the house, literally, right? And that's all that matters is the front of the house. And you can't have that car parked in front of the house. You need to get rid of that car, even though you can afford a nicer car. That means we maybe no car, but all that matters is what we look like. And that's how that child is raised. Completely neglected of their true emotional inner self and their emotional development. And that's typically the oldest, the first child. You represent us. You are everything I want to be, everything I've been telling people we are. You are the best. You will be competitive. I will compare you to other children. So maybe I won't hold that child, accountable for their behaviors, responsible for what they need to do. They're upset that another student, let's say that a child is upset that another child did something to them at school, bullied them, upset them, and the parent won't comfort the child emotionally and tell them how that was wrong. They'll come back with ego and you need to retaliate and we need to do this and get them in trouble. And don't worry, you're so much smarter than them though, or don't worry, their family's poor, they have no money. And this just completely supports their ego. This is what matters, how we look, not how you felt inside about this event. We need to keep our, we need to save our ego, our pride. Any Anderson would never take that. You make sure you don't take that. You tell them this and tell them to say something nasty to them. Fight with their parents, you know. Ego-driven, emotional self-development. There is none. Competing, comparing, and pleasing is what that child is taught to do. And we please by excelling and succeeding. You know, winning, first prize. You're the first or you lose. You're a loser, not good enough. Excel in school, academics, looks. My boy has to have lots of girls want him, chasing him. A lot of girls under, you know, little notches on his belt. You see that? My daughter has to be absolutely beautiful. I will post my daughter's selfies on my own Facebook. Awkward. Seen it. Conditional attention. You be the best. We strive for perfection or we don't love you. Do you see that? That's how that false narrative came about. That's how the facade was built by the parents. And since that child never fully developed their true emotional self, that's all they're going to continue doing. They have learned to reject that self. Their parents rejected it. They reject it. They support the ego. The child supports the ego. Liz, that's their identity. Do you see that? That's a fragile ego. Without a self, it's a very fragile ego. Poke right through it. Insecure. Overcompensate. I have to win. I have to win. I have to be better. I have to be better looking. I have to be smarter. I have to be stronger. I have to be faster. I have to be cooler. I have to be more popular. Have more money. More successful. More success. You know, push that child to the things that maybe the parent couldn't do. And then you'll have the envious, insecure dad who says, well, you can't be too good. Starts stunting them. Now they're competing. This would be the overt type. The hero. Always winning. Always saves the day. Always perfect. And that's what they have to keep up. Rejecting their true self. Anything that hurts, that's bad, that shows weakness, failure, mistakes. Nope, don't apologize. Nope, it's always your fault. You see that? This teaches the child their true self. Inner self is not good enough and is rejected by the parents and also then the child. Therefore, does not develop. And in a narcissistic family dynamic by narcissistic parents, the second child typically might be everything I hate about myself. What I cannot accept, the true projection. This is the failure, not us, this. The scapegoat is brought up by a story in Jerusalem, I think, or outside of Jerusalem, somewhere in that area. And the town will place all the sins and failures and mistakes onto the goat and send the goat out the gates, and there's where everything goes that I can't accept about myself. And that is the narcissistic parent in the narcissistic family dynamic that puts everything onto the child. It's your fault. We're not bad, you're bad. We don't suck, you suck. We're good enough, you're not good enough. For our attention, for our love. When I have a bad day, I take it on you and I go take the golden child out for ice cream. I go watch the golden child's practice. I don't care that you, the scapegoat, I don't care that you are in band practice and you have a band recital. Who cares about that? That's not cool. Why don't you be more like your brother Tom, you know, who's a basketball star already. Cares that you can play the flute. What are you going to do with that? Stupid. Shame-driven. You have ego-driven in the first one. The second one is shame-driven. The parent's shame. First is the parent's ego. Second is the parent's shame. Desperate for attention, absolute conditional love, raised with total discipline, pushed to the side, always compared to the golden child. Not good enough, never will be good enough. This is the absolute disciplined child, shame-driven, lacking development of their self, ashamed of their self. Toxic shame, I'm a bad person. This is the covert narcissist, the victim. Yeah, the overt hero, the covert victim. rejects self because it hurts too much. Lacking self-reliance. Very, very manipulative. Now, this causes resentment, overcompensation for both children. Then there's the switch. This can switch. You see, the gratification that the narcissistic parent receives from the golden child's success can never be enough. It's outside, external stimulation. It's never enough. Where do you go? How do you get higher than first? How do you get better grades than a 4.0 or an A? How do you get faster? How do you get stronger? How do you get taller? I mean, once you're 18 and you're a man, 19, 20. The switch. You might have because both of these children can grow up in a household. They don't have to be together. I'm just showing you together. The golden child tends to, with this kind of freedom and lack of discipline, tends to act out, be bad, get in trouble. Now you start embarrassing us and shaming the family. Do you see that? The well-disciplined child, always striving and desperate for attention, kept being well-disciplined, kept being good at school, and that can make a switch. Now we hate you. You're a failure. Do you see that? The golden child will still never be good enough. And this forces the parents to value the disciplined child more. We know narcissists will vacillate between the two, hero and victim, covert and overt, throughout their lives. There really is not just one or the other. It's not black or white. You'll have one that's more typically maybe in public like this, but then they might be at home different. But that is typically how narcissists are made. Both complete neglect, never developing the true emotional self, fragmented, shamed, overcompensating because of their own insecurities, and always have to do something more to receive attention and love, more than just people pleasing. Massive manipulation, massive success, being better than everybody. Impossible. That's it, guys. Let me know what you think. Please share your examples. Always the best parts of these videos. Share your examples. Ask questions. Let me know what you think of this video. Give me a thumbs up if you liked it. If not, down. Tell me why down below. If you haven't already, subscribed to the channel. If you want coaching, anybody, daviddemars.com. Thank you. Love yourself first.